Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Global Premier Football Show. This is our second episode for the 2022-2023 football season. It promises to be exciting. The first weekend of the Premier League season has come and gone. We're really looking forward to the next one. But before we get to the next one, we're going to look at what's happened and what we're looking forward to. Okay, so tonight we're going to review the past weekend. And with me here on this show tonight is my dear friend and brother, Victor K, all the way from Guadalajara, Mexico. And it's always a pleasure to have you on the show, brother.
Good to
Thank
be
you
with
very
you.
much for joining us.
Thank you for
And
having me.
you're welcome. Now, before we go ahead, just want to let you know, all our viewers out there, that we want to ask you for a favor. Just before we go into details of what we have tonight in this show, why don't you just click the like button? Why don't you just hit the subscribe button? Once you do this, make sure you hit the subscribe button where you have that, bell. And whenever we push out new shows and content, you'll be the first to know. All right, we appreciate you. And Vic, let's get into this. First weekend gone, week one of 38 weekends of the Premier League. What was the highlight of the week of this past weekend's game for you?
I am upset because my fantasy football league, I had Jesus and Harry Kane
Yeah.
as my striker.
Oh my word.
I was skeptical about Haaland if he was going to be able to, get up and
All good.
running the
Yeah.
first game of the season. I think I made a mistake. Before the game ended yesterday, I had to transfer Harry Kane out
Oh
for
my word.
for Haaland because they are the same value. So
Yeah.
that's painful because between the two of them, I only got about 4 points, which is
Oh.
not, yeah. I mean, but Mo Salah came good for me because it was my captain. So
Oh yeah.
I know I'm not alone. I'm not alone. There are so many people that went for Kane, but again, maybe it's the same. Harry Kane in August doesn't really click well at the beginning of the season. He always takes time to get up and running.
Yeah.
That wasn't good for me. So first weekend of the league wasn't good for my fantasy team, but Chelsea
I,
won. We won.
I'm gonna tell you something about the fantasy. I think this weekend was a good one for me. I I went for Nunez and Jesus, and then Salah was also my skipper. You know, and gladly enough, I raked in 64 points this weekend.
I got 58 points. I
Yeah,
was targeting 90 plus, because in my head,
yeah,
usually my defenders are full of right backs. So I go for Hannard, Alessandro Hannard, and James because I was hoping
yeah,
if don't get an assist, they probably get a goal. All of those things.
yeah.
So usually my back line is full of right wing backs, but
Oh my word.
didn't work out
Honestly,
well.
I think I'm going to copy that which you're doing with regards to the defenders because oh my goodness, Van Dijk was a disappointment for me this weekend. You know,
What a
I
mistake by him.
oh my goodness.
Mistake.
Well, I mean, it's just that penalty he got that dropped all the points that he could have, made for me. But I had Kyle Walker and I had Koulibaly. Unfortunately for the other guy, Nick Williams from, you would
For
wonder
nothing.
why what
Yeah,
am I
from Nottingham
doing?
Forest. He's in my team
Yeah,
too. No, it's not. I think it's natural if you're looking at football, from football point of view, right? You
yeah,
you probably think Nick. He's on my team. I had in my team, and I had this boy from Everton. They're number 3. Was it
uh-huh,
Peterson? Yes. I just included him because you have to balance the budget. You only have 100 million to play with, but
yeah,
we'll see. Maybe as season progresses, this idea we have about how they will play or they should play, maybe it's going to come to
uh-huh.
fruition. We'll see.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to that. It's just that I need to go back and take off some players. I mean, Son, and I think I may have to remove Mendy. Edward Mendy is my goalkeeper. So I think I'm going to remove him because I don't see
It's
us
good a clean
keeping a
sheet.
clean sheet. Yeah, I mean, for next, we're playing Tottenham next weekend.
So
I don't see Chelsea getting a clean sheet against Tottenham,
you
even if
have
we win.
you have to trust Mendy. You have to trust Mendy.
I know it's not all about Mendy, it's also about the team generally, right? Which we're going to look into in a matter of minutes here. But yeah, let's crack into it. The first week was a very, very good weekend of football. Arsenal started on a bright note.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, watching Jesus was like he was he was terrifying. He was destroying Crystal Palace, in the first half. He was dribbling them and body shading them and just hitting them here and there. And I was as if like, wow, what's going on here? So looking at the weekend's results, right?
Yeah.
Let's see here. We have Arsenal playing Palace, and they played away, right? Arsenal was away to Palace, and it was a 2-0 in favor of Arsenal. And then on the Saturday, Liverpool was a massive surprise to me. They tied 2-2 with Fulham. I thought they were going to wipe Fulham away, but I think maybe Fulham would be on a different role this season. I don't know.
I think Fulham is a surprise here.
It is. They were a surprise to me. Bournemouth, I wasn't expecting them to beat Villa, but they did beat Villa convincingly 2-0, clean sheet, which is very important in this league. Leeds United, Wolves 2-1, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest 2 for Newcastle. Newcastle were on a court. I mean, they were cruising the game. Spurs destroyed Southampton in the first half. Chelsea nicked in a 1-0 against Everton, first win at Goodison Park. Was it in 4 years now? And then Leicester, Brentford 2-2 was a very wonderful game. Leicester thought they had it all. Brentford came back, got two goals, 1 point. United, they are the surprise of the weekend for me, and was not expecting this to happen to them, but we'll still talk about them. And West Ham, Man City. You thought you wanted West Ham to pull the plug first, get the first goal, and see how City would react. But I think City were fantastic. So let's dive into this, one by one. Let's start from the first game of the season if you watched it. Tell me what
Friday, Arsenal. Overall, in my opinion, I think Arsenal started the game well. They pressed really high. It was very difficult for Crystal Palace to kind of settle down into the game.
Yeah.
And before they knew it, that's football for you. I mean, when you apply pressure, you have to get the goals. What I'm disappointed about is how Palace final third pans out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It seems like they haven't played together for a while. I mean, there's a moment you just felt like they could have done better and create maybe a proper goal scoring chance, but they did not, which is for me disappointing. Now, I must say something though about Arsenal. In the second half, their performance level dropped, right?
Yeah.
A little bit, but I think that seems to be the same Arsenal during the course of last season, right? As the season progresses, even though they do not have European football,
it is very
yeah, it was kind of too much for them to handle, the pressure, week in, week out, trying to get 3 points. And I still kind of have reservation because in the last episode I mentioned I do not see them getting into top 4. And even though they won 2-0, Saliba was amazing. And it makes you wonder.
21 years old.
Yeah, it makes you wonder why Arsenal left him out alone for a long time and invest in Ben White. But again, maybe he needed the time to be the kind of player he is right now. But I think he's a vital, or he will be very vital for them this season. So
he saved them a lot that game.
I am amazed. Yes, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah,
so good luck to Arsenal. But I do now. I still think they might come short come the end of the season.
yeah.
So we'll see.
This season they are playing in Europe, right?
Yeah, they're in the Europa League this season. Yeah,
Okay, let's see how they manage that because last season they were not in Europe and they could even pull
they
a
still
top
bottle
four.
it.
Yes. But anyway, I think as you mentioned, Palace had chances, but Ramsdale was on top of his game. He made brilliant saves, one-on-ones, flying header from Hudson Edward, and I think I think he saved Arsenal with him and Saliba. If not for two of them, I think Arsenal may have lost that game. It's not even to tie because there were one-on-one situations. There was this through pass from Zaha, to Eze, who wasn't able to finish. I mean, so these are situations that, as you mentioned, if you don't take chances, if you don't take those chances you create, if you don't get anything out of them, they always come back to haunt. And for
Yeah,
me, like we do say in Spanish, quien perdona pierde, which means the more chances you lose, you take advantage of your chances. When you don't take advantage of those chances, definitely it's like a firepower to the opposition and they come back to haunt you.
yeah, yeah. And again, I need to mention this. When Ateta went in for Ramsdale at 30 million, I was watching All or Nothing. I remember I told you I watched it last time,
Yes.
and I mean it's amazing how we do now see the immense side of these football players, right? We
Yeah.
question them because of how much money they make, but believe me, he was under intense pressure week in, week out, because there's Leno on the bench, and
Yes.
you have this boy who has two relegations
Two
on his
relegations.
CV to be your number one goalkeeper. So you can imagine how he felt during the entire season. The pressure.
Everyone makes joke about that move that he was relegated with Sheffield United, was with Bournemouth first, right?
Yeah,
And then went to Sheffield, and Sheffield got relegated. And
shit
they're
went
like,
down.
oh, you're going to Arsenal? Okay, Arsenal's going to be relegated. But it's and now he's played himself into the to the English national team. I'm sure he will be he will be the second choice definitely.
After Pickford, yeah.
I mean Pickford is definitely the number
No
one
matter
for
what,
England.
Saga would never
Yeah.
change his mind.
Oh yeah, and definitely he will not. But anyway, let's move on to the other games here. We may not talk about all of these games. We have to talk about the most exciting. So the first one was the first game of the season.
Yeah.
Palace and Arsenal, and Martinelli got the goal. Unfortunately, Gay had to score an own goal. For Arsenal. It all comes again in taking those chances. That very fantastic cross from Saka on the right. He put his
Yeah.
head down to
And then
divert
the
it into his
deflected. Yeah.
goal. Yeah. Anyway, now let's talk about Liverpool. Liverpool was a bit surprised for us on Saturday. That was the first game. Lunchtime English time kickoff. So, what do you think happened there? Because Fulham was cruising. They were putting out their very best performance in that game. Mitrovic was fantastic, but at the end, I was not expecting Liverpool to lose, of course, because I know what they've got.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it still tells us how you know that's why we like the Premier League.
That's why we love the Premier League. Now, I would say this. I do not think as a team they perform badly. I think it's just individual errors. That's
Mm-hmm.
number one. And number two, some players were not just up to it, right? So Thiago was injured, if I remember. Yeah, he was injured.
Mm-hmm.
Firmino, I didn't know what happened. He didn't really get going. And what's this guy's name? The new player, Diaz.
Yeah.
Uh, it wasn't. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe because it was the first game of the season. Again, we
Maybe
have to see from the
preseason.
point of view. This is the first, full competitive match they will play. So
Yeah.
it's now always difficult. I know Liverpool had a massive, game against City, but sometimes it might take a game or two to get going. But apart from those individuals not stepping up the way they should, I think Trent allowed Mitrovic to bully him for that first goal. Now,
Yes.
for me, that's an individual that caused the team a goal. You have to stand your ground. I mean, you are maybe arguably the best right back in the league because a lot of pundits support him instead of James. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we all have our home views, but he's one of the best, if not the best. Now, for Mitrovic to just come, I know Mitrovic is an experienced player. He's been around for
Yes.
a long time, but for him to do that, I mean, it's just massive. It is massive the way he bullied him to score the goal, and
Yes.
for that mistake by Van Dijk, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what to say. I I I believe because he wasn't going anywhere. The ball was going to fall into the path of Alexander Arnold, and for you to just tackle him that way in the box for Victor Van Dijk.
I think it was an instinct move from him, after the first leg he put out, because it was the second one that caused the penalty, not the first one. So if he had put out the first one and stayed without going again the second time, I don't think that it would have been a penalty for Fulham. But as you were saying, we all do, we all know that Trent he's a world class player,
He is.
for his position. But defensively, he struggled.
Yeah,
There's
it
no two
does.
ways about it, But because the game is all about, the modern day game is all about how much you can add to the attacking force of your team.
Yeah.
We remember back in those days, defending was just pure defending. If you are careful, if you are, you know, um, all those
Traditional defenders.
traditional right backs. They're just like their job is just defend. Their physicality, the way they look physically, they are strong, they are tall, they are massive. They are hardly bullied. But today, you know, if I go back a little bit, I start looking at Bosingwa and then Ivanovic, Daniel Alves, these were people who were like adding that attacking flair. Besides Roberto Carlos too, who is old timer but also a
Mhm.
modern day footballer as a left back. He was exceptional in his time as a left back that attacked. But
Yeah.
the rest in his time were all stationary left backs. There was no two or right backs, right? But I think that's what when you play Trent, you can explore Trent. Robertson is a better defender than
Then
Trent,
Trent. Yeah.
but Trent is a more offensive fullback than than any other person in the Premier League because his assist tells you that the numbers tell you that this guy he's just an extra attacker, an extra midfielder for Liverpool. But anyway, we'll see. I was just reading a headline this evening, and it said, one ex Liverpool player, Jose Rodriguez. I can you may remember him, a left back. He played for them. He said he was mocking, Fulham. He said, "Oh, we will laugh at you when you get relegated." So I didn't read the details, but that was a funny headline to read, saying you know um how they got this city. But we'll see how Fulham will go.
I think they play
Uh,
well. I think they play well. Again, individual errors, but I love when the team has a passion to go for it. Right? They were
yeah.
going for 3 point, and I love the fact that they weren't scared back. They were home. They want to make
Hmm.
an impression. We're back in the
Yeah.
league, and I
Yeah.
think they'll probably. I mean, I still think they might be relegated again
Hmm.
because usually by statistics all of the teams that comes out doesn't stay up. But we
Yeah.
will
Only
see.
one.
They
We'll
might
see.
be the standout team this time around, but we'll see.
Time will tell. One thing again I want to mention from the Liverpool team is that Nunez guy. That guy. Honestly, that's one of the reasons. One of the reasons I have in my fantasy team is because of his desire. There's this passion he's got to impress, to
You know,
deliver.
he tried the flick the first time. The
Yes,
keeper saved it,
yes.
and he did it again.
He did it again. That's confidence.
That's confidence.
That's confidence.
It is.
A coach might be screaming at him. Why? Honestly, for me as a coach,
Just
I
just
might
look for
scream
a
at
place to
him.
blast it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just like put in the ball there. Don't flick anything for me. That's personally what I would say. But I
Yeah.
think maybe he's been doing it a lot in the training, and the Jordan Klopp would
It
like,
looks very
okay,
easy for him. It
yeah,
does. Yeah.
he got it again, and
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Two games
I,
so far, two competitive games, and it stepped up.
goals,
It's
yes.
good. Yeah.
So anyway, the next game I want us to talk about would be the Newcastle Nottingham Forest. Now, while I want to talk about Nottingham Forest instead, I was really surprised at their lineup. Okay, so they spent a lot of money. Their top signing, their all-time record signing, Awoni, was not even on the starting, not in the starting lineup. And I was wondering, why would you spend that amount of money with a player like that? And it's not as if he was not part of your preseason. You already did, concluded, made sure that the transfer was done early. Why is it that he did not start the game? Because for me, that sets the tone for whatever it is that they could not be able to achieve. And it's not as if the guy lacked goals. So I did not like that he did not start the game, regardless of whatever. And it really affected them too.
It does, and I think maybe what he was trying to do is because he had two strikers up front, and those guys played a massive part in their promotion. And I think maybe it was this is our first game back. We give them the honor to lead the attack. We put Lingard behind them,
Mm-hmm.
and also I think it's this idea about managers. They tend to leave new signings on the bench for weird reasons.
For
I
just
remember
weird
when
reason.
when Grimaresh made the move to Newcastle.
Yeah.
The first game, I think he didn't play, and the second game he came in as a sub. The third game as a sub. It took him about 4 games. It took about 4 games for Eddie Howe to actually start him again, which is strange. But again, managers have their reasons. Sometimes it works, sometimes it backfired, and I think maybe that may have backfired. And
It really backfired because they had nothing to offer against Newcastle. On nothing,
yeah,
zero,
yeah, and then more
nothing.
so, they signed almost an entire new team.
Yeah.
So I will see them this way, like Fulham last season, where they got almost the entire team. It
Yes.
might take them a couple of games to gel, maybe not forever, the entire
Mm-hmm.
season. But I really think their manager is a very experienced coach.
Yeah.
Again, it's not just about a team. Is sometimes the people in charge makes a lot of difference, and I think it will. I mean, I still believe they will stay up. It's still my belief. The first game
Mm-hmm.
was terrible, but I think they'll figure it out. They will.
Yeah. Well, on the other side, you have a Newcastle team that was bossing the game. Honestly, I think St. James's Park is the best ground to play football in England. The fans are very wonderful. They never shut their mouth. They kept pushing the team. I mean, you can say also the same with Anfield because I mean, when we talk about noise-making stadiums,
Yeah.
right? But I think um, Newcastle played. I enjoyed watching their game uh, Nottingham Forest.
It was interesting. Yeah.
Their forwards. They played with a point man and number 9 in Callum Wilson. They have two creative, Alan San Maximin and Miguel Almiron. They
And his
run, they
goal,
create,
his goal was like a typical striker's goal,
a
right?
typical striker's
You
goal,
just
a
flick
typical
it,
number 9.
put it
A
wherever it
typical,
goes.
they just stick around in the box. That's what makes it as if it's easy, but they know their position. They just stay in there, and Anyway, I will come back to that number 9 thing. The number 9s we are up to it this weekend. Honestly, starting from Jesus, and then Nunez, then this guy, Callum Wilson. So, well, let's look at the next group. Like as I said, we're not going to talk about all the games. We're going to talk about the ones that I think that we are more excited. And all of them were exciting for their fans, but for me, I think there are ones that we could we cannot but talk about. Why we talked about Nottingham Forest is because they are newly promoted, like Fulham, and it sets the tone for the season, how
Yeah.
their season is going to play out, right? Okay, so the next game that we'll talk about, Spurs. Spurs made a statement. They are top of the league. Last season, they were top of the league. What do you
I
think?
I hate Spurs. I don't know. I was worried.
As a Chelsea fan, you do hate Spurs.
I
I
was
get that.
worried last season. Remember, I was telling you I do not want them to get top four because I
Yes.
know if they get top four, that's a statement for Conte to go after Dan Levy and get whatever he
Yeah.
wants.
Uh-huh.
And I am still trying to figure it out. I think they'll be up there this season because previously they do not have the required squad depth. And
Yeah.
over the last two windows, I think they have signed 5 players this transfer. The
Yeah.
last transfer window, I think maybe they did three players or 4.
Mm-hmm.
So you can imagine, you see their bench. Richarlison didn't even play because he was suspended. So
Yes.
you can see that they've got Longley on the bench, they've got Bissouma on the bench, they've got Charleston. We've got 5 substitutions.
Perisic was also on the bench.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
with
so you
five
can
substitutions.
5, yeah, so you can imagine what a squad depth we helped them achieve this season. Again, if they do not get top 4, will be a disappointing season. And I do
Yes.
not think Conte is only pushing for top 4.
No, he's gonna win something. I
He,
think he will
he
play to
is
win something.
pushing to win something. So what, either the League Cup, FA Cup, but he is building this team because if he delivers a trophy, it's going to be the first time in maybe 16, 17 years.
Yeah.
That is a statement. So when you demand something from Levy, you get it because you are in charge and you're getting results. So for me overall, I think it was a good game. I expected them to win the game, of course. And I
Absolutely.
was worried about Southampton. I told you, they've got this new approach by getting younger kids,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it might take them a while. I have a feeling that it might be relegated because I
Mm-hmm.
mentioned in the last episode.
Yeah.
Because not because I do not believe in the prospect that they have, those young kids. I just do not know how the manager will play this season. Sometimes he messes things up too much. He's a very smart man, but sometimes I think he just overdo it. Sometimes like Pep,
Mm-hmm.
But if your bad is more than good, then you have a problem, right? Pep made
Absolutely.
one or two mistakes around there, but largely he always get it right. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's my worry for them. We'll see how they go forward now. The second game, the third game, we'll see. But overall, I think it was a great win for Spurs. It was.
Yeah, yeah. For Spurs, it's a great win. For Southampton, it's a game to forget.
Yeah,
Honestly,
quickly
it's a game to forget,
and
and
move on.
hope and move on to the next one because the games come thick and fast, and before you know it, the Carabao Cup sets in, and
And matches pile
World
up.
Cup exactly, and World Cup is around the corner and all
Yeah,
those stuff, right? And I'm sure players who are in that team, maybe hoping to represent their country in the next World Cup will be playing to avoid injuries that can as well take them to the World Cup. It's a lot of mixture for them there. But all the best to Southampton. Congratulations to Spurs. I hope they enjoy being at the top for this week, and let's see how next week will go for them. Now we'll move on to the next one. Before we come to Chelsea's game against Everton, let's talk about Manchester United. Manchester United had a season opener to forget about. What do you make of that?
I know people will want to talk about Ten Hag.
No way. I never talk
Um,
about it. No way.
um, he's
Personally, though.
he's inherited a bunch of. I think one of the major problems affecting Manchester United is you don't see them having this. How do you say it? This
Drive.
steel, this zeal to push more. Now you've got what exactly do the management in charge as Manchester United think will happen when you have an attacking lineup of Ericsson playing as a striker?
Oh my
I
word.
think, but I understand why I did that. right? Because he felt maybe he could, drop in every now and then and create
But for
space.
who?
Yes. So the challenge is this: you have Martial going to the season, you have a very low confidence Rashford, you have Sancho who have not really clicked in since he joined the team. Ronaldo, I understand the reason why I sat on the bench. It's normal. He only have 45 minutes per season
Hmm.
because of his vacation. So again, it makes sense. But again, this is a problem with the people in charge. It's not about how much you spend on a player. It's about getting the right players. So if you get this guy and this guy and this guy I mean, I don't think club mind if they spend 50 million on a player. Just make it work. So the
Yeah,
people in charge at Manchester United, they have wasted a lot of money on players that do not fit the philosophy of the team, right?
yeah,
And then the mistake they made last season by firing Ole, bringing in Ragnick which I think destroyed the entire dressing room.
yeah.
Before the season end, they have been talking about Ronaldo, maybe he should leave. It's destroying the moral of the team. Without Ronaldo, they cannot go anywhere. Do you expect Martial to score 20 goals this season or Rashford? It's not going to happen. Don't kid
Hmm.
yourself. So the moment the transfer window closed, they should have been on the market, right? They should have been in the market. If you want to get Lewandowski, I know some of those deals are difficult. If you want to get Haaland, Nunez will have joined them if they had put a bid first before Liverpool. So all of those things, they should have got them right before even thinking about going. I mean, you understand Chelsea may have issues because of the sanction, the delay going to the transfer market. We,
Yes,
we didn't even have a board yet, right?
yes.
So Bowley had to create, the directors, whatever it is, and fire Marina and, whatever's in charge. The CEO is gone, directors are gone, Bruce Buck was gone. So it took time to restructure. While we were doing that, what was Manchester United doing? And
They were laughing at us.
yeah, so we mentioned in the last episode, Graham Potter, he plays football. for
Yes,
you
it
to
does.
for you to beat Brighton. Brighton can beat any team.
They
It's what
can
they've
be. They
done.
can beat. They
If,
can
if
beat
no
anything.
matter if it's Man City or Liverpool, they can beat you. So you have to be game ready if you want to play them because this man knows what it takes to win a football match. And I told you
Yes,
the last time, it doesn't matter if it's a young player or
yeah,
OG, he's gonna play. So they should have been much more prepared, much more ready. I mean, they know Southampton. They lost to them
yeah. The thing
multiple
is that
times.
when I saw their lineup with Ericsson as a center forward, as a fourth nine, yes, I know it's that Dutch style or whatever, but that is not a convincing move to make. Ericsson could have played in the number 10 position. We saw what he did when he was at Tottenham Hotspur. He he was the perfect replacement for Modric when Modric left. So and he can score from his with his right and his left. He can pin those passes, But him having to play forward, then drop back and get no, that is also asking too much for a player
We
like him.
saw
I
him
would
at
say.
Brentford. Yeah, we saw him at Brentford. I mean, again, what do you think McTominay and Fred would do in the Premier League midfield? If they're playing for a different team, I understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is Manchester United, the greatest club in English football, right?
Yes.
If you want to get, I mean, if you want to fix Manchester United, you need to go big now. So you have a manager that you believed in,
Mm-hmm.
and this man has not been able to get anything done. He got two deals done, right? It was Malasia, who was actually going to, I'm not sure if it was Marcel or Leon, before United hijacked the deal to get him as a left backup. You know, they got
Yeah.
that, and they got this new
Lisandro.
defender, Lisandro
Lisandro.
True, because the manager knows him. Now,
Mm-hmm.
you have to ask two questions. For a manager to bypass whatever work that may have been done by the scouting department of Manchester
Yeah.
United to go for the player he knows in his own Dutch league, I don't think there are so many successful players from Dutch league, you know, coming to Premier League. But then again, this manager had to go back to his, whole team, old league to get players. What does that say
Yeah.
about a scouting team in a club as huge? as Manchester United.
Manchester
He basically
United.
rip up their report because it's nonsense. Don't give me another Pogba. I don't need that, right? That's what he did. So it's the entire work they've been doing for the entire season scouting job. For him, it was rubbish. So he's going for the player that he knows will fit into his plan. De Jong is still hanging there, and hopefully he
Yeah.
can get out the line. But what a disappointing game for them. The next game is against Liverpool, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Why is he not playing? I mean, this guy was on loan, Donny van der Beek.
Yes.
He was on loan at Everton last season.
Mhm.
He's back into the team, right?
Yes.
And this is a player that he worked with when he was at Ajax.
Yes, he
So
did.
why why couldn't he play him and also play Ericsson in the central midfield? These two guys can. I mean, Fred and McTominay, as you mentioned, they've been there for a while now, and they haven't delivered anything for the Manchester United midfield. So why don't he? I mean, he should. For me, I would say he should twist that midfield. Either play only Fred or only play just one of them.
I don't think Fred should be starting. I mean,
I mean,
again, I don't
or he
think
should
Fred
just
should.
move on.
Yeah, I mean, if you lose, you lost Matic and Pogba. You need to do more for that midfield. No matter how much we underrate those players,
Mm-hmm.
I believe they have qualities that no one in that midfield of United right now has.
Yes.
You can talk about Ericsson being able to distribute the ball properly, right? But it doesn't have the strength to carry the entire midfield, right?
Then you play him alongside Fred because you need a hardworking number six to be able to do that. If he's
What did
playing
Fred
maybe a
do on the
four,
field? How many times did they
that's the
recover the
thing.
ball?
That's it. Even oh goodness me, even the goal that Brighton scored for them, the movement from Welbeck as a forward, pulling out, that movement attracted Maguire to follow him. And then Fred, for me, should run into that middle where that ball would have been crossed into. He didn't make that run. And that's my problem watching Man United this past weekend was the defensive organization was absolutely horrendous. It was shambolic. The defense line, I look at Liverpool, I look at Manchester City, I look at Chelsea, and I look at Tottenham Hotspur. Even Arsenal lately, when they are defending from the wings, you would just see a straight back five. Man United were all scattered all over the place. I was like, what is going on in this team?
They
And that was
manage.
why this guy, Brighton, was able to nick in those goals. The first goal was a cross. The second one was a cross-field ball as well. A shot from I can't remember the player's name. De Gea saved it. Rebound followed right away. Why? Because their defensive organization was very, very poor. Anyway, we can talk about Man United for the next 5 years because since Sir Alex left, it has been terrible.
Yeah, but I
Anyway,
trust the manager to just to wrap it up. I trust the manager to rebuild a team. I think is the kind of manager they need. And it might take him a season. I mean, it might take him 2 seasons. Again, we've got to have a lot of players moving on from United, and we have to create an atmosphere. I mean, they have to create an atmosphere like Ateta. Result may be bad, but for the long run, you've got to trust the manager and be able to back him, right?
yeah,
So they've been trying to get a lot of players in. No one has come through the door in the midfield or attacking area. It is bad. It
yeah.
is bad for them. And now, to cap it all, they are chasing Marco Anatovic.
Gary Neville said, "I
You
don't make
laughed.
comments about. I don't
That
make
is
comments about."
for Manchester United. Again,
Oh my
that's why I'm
goodness.
questioning their scouting, team. It doesn't make sense. So for Manchester United, they have put this manager in the if you get a manager in, like Bowley's trying to do now,
Mm-hmm.
back him, back him, pay for it, whatever he needs, make it happen, go
You just
for it.
have to get rid of the players, and
Yeah,
players need to leave Man United. Honestly speaking, for
I
them to
wish
make
them well.
progress, some of them have to leave. Anyway, West Ham, Manchester City. West Ham played at home. Man City came, took all the points. Haaland scored 2 goals.
Uh,
On to the next one.
can we talk about that pass from De Bruyne?
I am coming for that pass. That is that is the best pass of this weekend's Premier League game.
That's what we're lacking, brother.
Oh my word.
I want to share a graphic with you. Maybe I'll do that later. When we get the ball, instead of us to, we do have people who run. And
don't worry. Let's talk about Manchester City. We'll come back to Chelsea.
I mean,
because that's why
it's a beautiful pass. If you want, remember I was saying in Bundesliga, Haaland is a guy who run at play. Yeah. It's not. It doesn't do build-up play, right?
No.
They get the ball. Sancho is running. Bellingham is behind him. Sancho releases the ball. Bellingham find the pass. Haaland is one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
On his toes.
There you go. And it was the exact same thing De Bruyne brought out on Sunday.
That was what they've been lacking, and now they've got a proper number 9. They've got a proper number. I was listening to one guy on Sky Sport. He was saying, "Oh, it's not fair. It's not respectful to say that Haaland is going to come in and win the Golden Boot for the season, and you don't respect Salah, you don't respect Son, you don't respect Harry Kane." I said, no, they've got a new competitor. They've got competition. Haaland is going to score goals because Man City creates tons of chances. And maybe this is the season where they will go all the way to the Champions League. But before that, they are going to challenge again for every single trophy in England and in Europe. And for me, last season, they lacked a proper number 9. Yes, Jesus was there. But peradventure, he was not doing what was expected of him because he would also sometimes drift, right? Because they're used to playing false nines and false nines. And false nine, when you play with false nine, they will always drift because they will come back, link up play. And also they will not be able to have the stamina, the speed to go back again into the number 9 position. So what happens for Man City last season? There is no Golden Boot winner from Man City because they were all doing false 9 and people coming out of position and playing and scoring goals from everywhere. They scored a lot of goals. But you can say that one single player in Manchester City last season was among the top goal scorers in England, especially when Son and Salah took the Golden Boot. Because those guys are always in the striking position. Those guys are always in the finals, or those guys are always inside the 18-yard box, creating and finishing, because that is what they do. Now, Manchester City have gotten Haaland, whose job is to score goals. Behind him, he has world-class midfielders. That pass from De Bruyne was the best. I can't remember the last time I saw a pass like that. And that guy, he just ran to the ball. He just made his run. He outran the West Ham defenders, and also had all the time. That's to tell you how quick
he had all the chance,
had all the time to position himself and then to score.
Yeah, that's what's fascinating about the pass, because it wasn't just precise. It was. I mean, it was almost a gift.
It was a gift.
It was perfect. It was right in front of him. He moved his body and then grounded the pass like Dennis Bergkamp would do. Yeah. Ground it into the net with decent amount of shot power behind it. It was a beautiful goal, honestly. I mean, I know I had my doubts about him, and the reason why is because I felt City players, they were used to the first 9 thing. Even Guardiola, I don't think it worked out well when he has Zlatan at Barcelona. No. He's this kind of man. He doesn't want you to be static.
Zlatan does not run. Zlatan doesn't run for anyone. You have to put the ball where he is for him to score. Yeah. But these reminds us of the Thierry Henrys, the young Thierry Henry that will run. Put the ball, he's going to run to it. And that's what made them to score a lot of goals.
Either from Robert Pires or Dennis Bergkamp. He is right there. I mean,
he's just there.
Henry's a different level, it was a different level kind of player.
Anyway, commiserations for West Ham. They have to look forward to the next one. Man City was ready for business. I think they don't want to start poor. like they did last season. I think maybe it put a strain on their also Champions League pursuit. So starting well puts you on a different level as well. But we'll see. Now let's come back to the team we have connection with, and that is Chelsea Football Club against Everton. I'm going to leave you to talk before I do some tactical analysis of Chelsea, bringing in one of the things that we are lacking. Meanwhile, before you start, anyone still listening to this, please hit the like button and subscribe so that you'll be the first to get our content when released. Thank you very much. Vic, you've got the floor. Take on.
Well, it was an okay performance. Um, I I believe in the manager. Honestly, I love Tuchel. It's probably one of the managers that I've got to. I didn't, I wasn't into Tuchel at first when he came,
Mm-hmm.
but I've got to fall in love with Tuchel. Um, I think maybe the team wasn't ready, like he was saying initially during the preseason. But I must give a shout out to Thiago Silva. I mean, that man is a
Oh my
Rolls
goodness.
Royce of a defender. For him to be doing what he does now at this age, I mean, it's amazing. I do not know how he does it. Every time he's on the field, he wants to give his best. And
Everyone talks about Van Dijk, but for me,
yeah, you got to give
Thiago Silva
props.
is the best centre back in the world. For me,
He's amazing. He's amazing. And I think we did well. I just think, like I was talking about the Bruno, I've seen scenarios whereby Kante gets the ball or Jorginho, and you see Timo Werner running through the middle. You see Lukaku raising his hand, pointing for the direction for the pass, and then we'll do a sideways pass. We're trying to find the right wing back to then dribble, cut back, and then try to cross the ball. De Bruyne took the ball and they fling it right hand. That's what I think the midfield is missing. I'm not sure how he's going to resolve that. Maybe the young will happen. We don't know.
mhm,
But largely, I am disappointed in Kai Havertz. I know
it's a
he's
game for
not,
him to forget.
yes, he's not a natural striker. We've benefited from him playing in that position, sometimes, some games. But that game against West Ham, he was missing. He went missing. I think it was a disaster for him overall. Maybe Timo Werner and Rudiger situation is affecting him somehow. I don't know. I hope not because it is an expensive signing.
Hmm.
He's not going to leave Chelsea with the same value. It's going to be a massive loss. So hopefully he steps up. But I'm hoping in the next game, as crazy as it may sound, I hope we start with Roger against Spurs.
We
I hope
have
so.
to. We
Yeah,
have
I
to.
just think it's more mobile
We have
than
to.
Kai Havertz on the pitch when he came in, and Cucurella. I mean, this guy only had one training section with the
We
entire
have to.
team.
We have to. But he had a preseason with Brighton.
It was good. Look at the pass he gave to Sterling,
Oh my word.
and that's. I know Chua got the penalty for us, but he was kind of clumsy actually before he got the penalty, right?
Yes.
And I think he was exhausted by the time they saw him. I know he's
Of
recovering
course,
from
he's
an
still
injury.
coming back, right?
Yeah, but maybe we should just go for Cucurella. I mean, it's gonna have a lot of time to train this season with the team, so let's go for it. Leave Chilwell out
I
of it.
I think Chilwell was scared, or he is scared of
Of getting
Cucurella
injured.
joining the team.
Ah,
No, not getting injured, of Cucurella joining the team, because he knows what Cucurella brings. He's seen him play. He's played against him, and now this guy is in Chelsea, and because he had a conversation with Tuchel about being ready for that game. It's just him trying to prepare himself for the competition. That was why he forced his way into the team for that first game. Because if Alonso was still available, uh, Chile would not be playing that game.
yeah, of course. We
He
want to
wouldn't
start
be
again.
playing that game because, but as it is, he had to start the game by talking his way into the game. That conversation is what brought him in. Now, you have mentioned a lot, some of the few things that I have in mind, with regards to analyzing Chelsea's game. Defensively, thanks to Thiago Silva and Koulibaly, both of them were outstanding. Thiago Silva did. I've not seen a defender that reads the game more than he does.
I think
game.
Kunde, sorry, I said Kunde. Koulibaly will need to learn how to play with cramps, because Thiago Silva, he's got cramp almost every game, and that man never leaves the pitch. I mean, he's amazing how he plays. You have to respect him.
Maybe he has a banana juice somewhere by the side that he eats and drinks it, during the game. But he was outstanding. I'm going to tell you, if not for Thiago Silva, we'll be losing against Everton.
Yeah, it was a
we'll
close
be
game.
losing. He intercepted a through ball that was going. He intercepted the one-on-one situation against Gray, and that performance, he was the man of the match.
Yeah, it was.
He was the man of the match. That also tells you that we still have a lot of work to do. When our defender, our centre back is man of the match, not even the wing back, maybe because of the crosses or whatever, that they are man of the match, but our centre back being man of the match means that we have a lot to do.
The interception in the first half, where stick out the leg.
Yeah.
And then the block in the second half. I mean, even Mendy goes, oh man, that was good.
You have to respect the man. You have to respect the man as his teammate. Now, on the attacking side,
just to mention, if you watch Tuchel, several times it was like this, and it was talking to Mason Mount and Average.
Yeah,
you're sleeping.
I saw him do that.
Why are you sleeping?
Get on the game.
Get out.
Everton was more fired up.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have a lot to digest in this game. So I'm going to share my screen here of what about this particular game of Chelsea against against Everton here. Okay. So Everton came out to dismantle us. That's for sure. They came out to win this game. They came out to win the game. They did not come to, like normally they're not fighting for relegation or anything, but they came out to win the game and they fought for it. Yeah, unfortunately, they got that penalty. If not for that penalty, it would be a 0-0 draw. And that is not a good way to start the season, matter what. No matter what. It's not a good way to start. Because Liverpool has won, Arsenal has won, City definitely would win. We don't expect them to lose, although it might be a difficult game for them against West Ham. And then Liverpool tied. We don't have to do that. To me, I mean, because you will always know what Liverpool will bring to the league, right? So that's very certain. But the other cheeky teams, I mean, in quotes, in this season or last season or the past 5 seasons, Arsenal and these other guys, Tottenham Hotspur, that have won their games, we expect to win out. So, and here we have Everton lining up in a 3-4-3 formation, just like we did, right? And then we came out as well. That's a normal thing, right? We have, our 3-4-3 as well. Mendy, the back three, the 4 in the middle, and the 3 attacking teams or the 3 attacking. So looking at this is basically what, tactically speaking, movement of players in and out, etc., etc. Sterling started in the middle, but Sterling will always drift for you, right? Sterling will always drift, right? So, and then you look at what we were doing. As you were mentioning Kai Havertz. Kai here. There's something that got me worried about Kai. Kai breaks counter attack. If you check, we counter-attacking, he gets the ball, it slows down. It's not that we're trying to have a delay tactics here. We need to carry on with the counter, And then, do you remember the injury that, the tackle that cost the Everton centre back, Godfrey?
Godfrey to go injured.
Can you please go back and think and remember from where Godfrey came from to tackle? There was a back pass to Pickford, right? The ball had to cross the line, which the linesman didn't see.
And he kicked it
Pickford
out.
played it in. He went to Kai. Where was Kai? Kai was around here. And Godfrey zoomed from here.
Caught up with him.
He was indecisive. Do I shoot? Do I make a pass? And Godfrey tackled him around here. And Godfrey got himself injured. Good for Everton that they did not concede. Bad for them that Godfrey got injured.
It's not a bad injury actually. Then that it's much more okay than we initially thought. So he should be back soon.
Yeah, but back to Kai. Kai lost the ball with someone who was like 10, 15 yards away from him and could not even get a pass in, could not even get a shot in.
I'm going to ask you a question though.
Yeah.
Why did Sterling play through the middle instead of Kai Havertz?
I do not really know. We need to ask TT. We need to ask Thomas about that. Because, now one thing you have to realize is this. Check the top teams that played with a false nine. Liverpool started their game with a false nine because Firmino is not a number 9. It's not a 4% forward. They struggled until they make the change and brought in a number 9. And they got a goal. Manchester City played with a proper number 9, scored 2 goals. Tottenham Hotspur played with a number 9, got their goals. Arsenal played with a number 9, got their goals. Check the movement of all these players from where they went. Remember the game that we're just talking about with Manchester City. De Bruyne picked up the ball from here, played the ball going this way. Haaland was here, ran this way.
Between two defenders.
Between 2 defenders, open up his body and shot in here. And that was how he scored.
Yeah.
Right? What do our players do? Our players do what? Drift. When they drift, what happens? Nothing. We keep roaming the ball here and there, finding who to dribble. Nothing. Just wasting time. Sideway passes from Mr. Jorginho and Kante, trying to find James. James gets the ball here, tries to cut back, no crossing. Mount was asleep. Kai was super asleep. Sterling was doing all the job here, getting into the box.
He was impressive. Yeah,
he was He was the most. He was the only threat that we could offer
in the attack. Yeah,
he was the only one. Aspi, Silva, Koulibaly. Now, one thing I need you to know is that we had a lot of possession, but the problem of having too much of the possession is this: that your center backs push up, right? They push up all the way up here. Gray is just locking around the corner here because definitely James will be around here. Chile will be around here. That creates enough of space here. Look at Everton's players and their counter-attack. Gray gets the ball, speeds up. Aspi can't catch him. No way. Aspi is old. But guess what? Mr. Silva, he doesn't catch him, but he's reading him. He's reading him, knowing where he's going. And guess what? Intercepted that pass that he wanted to play from here this way.
Yeah, because again, like as a coach, the first rule of defending is not to get a ball, right? You got to delay, and make sure the attacker put the ball where you want it, right?
Absolutely.
So you want to tell them where to pull the ball. That's why I think Thiago Silva has been successful. It's not about
Yes,
how strong you are. It's about how you use your defensive brain. And this man
absolutely.
does it game in, game out.
He does it. He does it. He does it fantastically well. But my problem again goes back to this area. We only played, this guy was not in the game. This guy was not in the game. No impact in that game for me. No way.
We're
And
gonna
because
X him out.
no, Sterling was drifting. Sometimes we make runs here. If you look at Sterling's run, Sterling is not a center forward, so he does not make a proper center forwards run, right? And also because we don't have midfielders that can find that pass. So number one, we don't have the center forward. So everyone we play to the strength of the front three, and that will be getting the ball, playing short passes, sideways, as you can see the arrows, their movement sideways from here, and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, we will get lots of possession, right?
Yeah.
We'll get lots of possession. Where is our possession? Just around here. Just around here. Sometimes we play it back. Just around here. But there is no one that gets the ball, tries to find a true pass. Why? Number one, because our Sterling here is not a center forward, so he's not going to make that run. The only time he tried, in which he was fouled, was when he took on the players, right? And he ran and he
and they pushed him down.
He did so. He was brilliant. But we need to play. That was when you mentioned that we need to play Broja. We need to play Broja because he's a proper center forward. Even if you play him the ball, that's time in which he came in, I think 20 minutes to the end of the game or 15 minutes, he held the ball, plays it down, makes that run. Now, we need players, center forwards, that will make the run. Look at Newcastle. We talked about center teams that play with proper number 9. They're always locked around here. They're just like loitering here all the time. They are not in offside positions, but they're always here. If the ball is being played here, they are here waiting for it. They are just like
Diego Costa as an example. Yeah.
Oh, perfectly. Diego Costa does it very well. Besides, after Diego Costa, Drogba, Diego Costa, we've not had proper number 9. Morata was a fluke. He came, took some money from us. He went on loan. That's it.
He scored an hat-trick for Juve again, for Atletico Madrid against Juve last weekend.
That's good for him. That's good for him. Good for him. But what did he do for Chelsea? Nothing. Fernando Torres, yes, he was, but it was not the same Fernando Torres of Liverpool.
We forgive him for everything because of that goal against Barcelona.
Absolutely. Yes, he's a Chelsea legend for that. But again, back to what I'm trying to say here, right? You get what I'm saying? Of our players, our number 9, making direct runs. We finding midfielders that can play the ball. Unfortunately, we don't have a Jorginho. Jorginho is not consistent. He's not consistent. He plays more sideways passes than he plays forward passes.
Okay. But I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
What is the main qualities of Jorginho? What is that thing that Jorginho does best?
I think it's just being able to. I think he in terms of possession-based football, he is able to play in all those tight spaces. That's what Jorginho can do for you. In tight spaces. Jorginho can play in tight spaces. But that's not the only thing midfielders have to do. Midfielders have to find those forward passes, play to the center. But the thing is this, if we have a proper center forward, he has to be obligated, or he is out, that he must have to find those passes, because he can find himself in space. The good thing also I like about Jorginho is that he finds space to play, because it's not the one that is able to play body to body, shove, and all those stuff. But when he finds himself in space, he will get again and play side passes.
Okay.
So
There is no player, in my opinion, like Jorginho in Premier League.
no,
And I'm not saying that because I think it sets some high bars, right? I just think Jorginho is is a very basic and simple midfield player. The reason why I say
it is.
that because Rodri, Rodri stays behind. Rodri is not the most elegant player, right? But
Yeah,
it does a clean up job. You cannot play Jorginho in that position.
no.
So, so should we jettison Jorginho, get Kovacic and Kante right in the middle, and play a 10 right in front of them, and have those two play instead of having Kai Havertz play from the flank? You know, just put Kai Havertz and Sterling at the top, or Sterling and Roger, and play Mount behind them, so we can have someone who can at least pass the ball forward, right? So if Mount has to drop deep in between the two of them, get the ball and distribute, let's do that instead of throwing Mount away on the flank
Mm-hmm.
and waiting for ball from Rhys James.
Yep. I mean, I agree with you. And the reason why is that I think the best formation for Chelsea is a 4-2-3-1 formation. And that is where the number 10 can come in. And that is where also Ruben Loftus-Cheek can come into central midfield when needed. Because when he came in on Saturday, he came in playing in this position. He came in playing on the right. Yeah, as a right forward. That was where he went. He got in.
Yeah,
So
actually, because
naturally, he's a
when
central
it came
midfielder.
in, we actually moved James to the left side first
Yeah,
before Cucurella came in, and James went back to his position. Yeah.
exactly. So what I'm trying to say here is this: we have to get in these players in position. We can switch to a back four without a doubt. We can switch to a back four. Okay, play this formation. Play a proper number 9. Let me move these Everton guys backwards. Play a proper number 9. Play number 10. This can easily work for us.
Yeah. I mean,
We have missing Mount. We have missing Mount and Kai Havertz played in this position. We have the what's he called? Captain
Gallagher
America, Pulisic, yeah, Gallagher. We have players to play in this
in that
position.
position. That's what I'm saying. So we
We have
got three
players to play
players
here.
that could actually play that role. So why are we playing Jorginho? Okay, let's assume Jorginho is a guy that
Even if you play Jorginho, play Jorginho as a number 8 here in a 4-2-3-1 here, and play Kante here. Get the ball, give to Jorginho. Let's find the number 10s. Let's find the 11s. Let's find the 7s here. Let's get these guys to work. Let's play with a proper number 9 instead of playing in the 4-2 in the 3-4-3. And all we do is to find wing backs that are going to cross the ball for no center forward to work with. And because there's no center forward to loitering around in the 18-yard box, what do? We come back again, boom, in the middle, boom again in the middle, and then we're just rolling about, rolling here and there on the field, doing nothing. Instead of playing this formation, play the 4-2-3-1.
all right. So I don't think a man just going to change the formation this season. Otherwise, we will not be trying to get Fofana right now and possibly a right back. My question for you is this: let's assume we have the Young who drops out in that midfield.
Jorginho may have to drop her. The thing is
Okay.
that if you bring it, the thing is this: Kante is the only number 6 in that squad, and the job of a number 6 is stay in front of the back
Defense.
four.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cover the back four, and he does that very well. But you can see that in the last 2 seasons or 3 seasons, Kante's position has done what? Has evolved. That he goes up and down, gets us
But
some
can we
goals.
not put him back? Put him back and
Yeah,
drop Jorginho. Jorginho's the only man who has forced Kante out of his. Even when Matic was there, they didn't force Kante out of his position, right?
no,
And we
that that's
play.
that's the thing.
Yeah. So again, I understand. Anthony Kante brought in Kante playing this formation, right?
Yes.
And he did it very well from his position in that midfield, and it was a successful season.
Hmm.
So why are we continue again? That's what I asked you at first. What is that thing that Jorginho brings in that no one else can do?
I think just being able to play under pressure. Jorginho can play under pressure. He's not a physical player. He's not the robust type of player, but just that his ability to play under pressure and in tight spaces, that's what Jorginho brings. And because he does that, I mean, maybe managers are carried away because of that. Now, for example, if he played for Man City because he was about to go to Man City, right? Before we signed him, before Sarri brought him in, I believe that he would be playing because Man City play in a 4-3-3 formation, right? So if Jorginho was there, Jorginho will be playing in this number 8 here, okay? Because this guy will be here, Rodri will be here, Kevin De Bruyne will be actually on the right here, giving him this number 10 here, and Jorginho will be here. So the thing is that you have Rodri, who is up and down, clearing every rubbish that comes here, protecting the back
Do you
four, doing
think
that very well.
do you think he will have been successful given the fact, listen, given the fact that you have Goodwin, who is a much more mobile player
Yeah.
than Jorginho, and you also have the weirdest way Pep Guardiola plays. He makes Bernardo Silva drops and do the dirty work.
It's just that,
So
remember,
again, if although we know Pep wanted him,
yes,
but comparing him now with Bernardo Silva, with Gundogan, would you think do you think he would have been starting in the game so City now?
remember Pep does whatever he likes, right? And he doesn't care how you feel. He will play whosoever he wants to play and start. And I think that before, I can't remember who arrived City and if Jorginho arrived Chelsea before Rodri and Bernardo Silva. So we can also look at when those players arrive because when you go on the market to buy
Because
a player,
Rodri,
right?
they got Rodri because they missed out on Jorginho.
Exactly. So he may have had a different way of playing, but I think also that he needed someone that would replace Yaya Toure in that central midfield that would do that work for him. And that's what Rodri is doing. Definitely Jorginho will not be able to do that for him. But he would have as well maybe bought him, or maybe by now he may have sold Jorginho, or maybe bring in a different player. But at the end of the day, the thing is that this number 6 here in the name of Rodri from Man City, you know, is just covering the back and just doing the job and covering these guys who are not as strong physically as he is, but technically better than Rodri. So at the end of the day, you need a number 6 that is able to do the job. And that is why I think Kante should be brought back in his position. If we're going to play a 4-3-3, we can do it by playing Kovacic and Jorginho here and Kante staying here. And Kante will also have less injuries because he will not have to travel up and down again as he used to because he does that, goes up attacking, comes back to defend. At the end of the day, he has a lot of wear and tearing on his knees and ligaments and joints, and the guy is injured, and then he stays after a while, and then he comes back. He's not even fully recovered because we desperately need him, and then we bring him back. Reason? Because there's no one doing his job. If you put him to just play in that position, that number 6 role, whether it is in a 4-3-3 formation or in a 4-2-3-1, that will be best for us. But if we continue playing 3-4-3, and with this midfield we have, we're gonna have a problem.
Final
And
question
without
for you.
also without having a proper number 9 starting the games, let's
Final
see what
question
Georgia
for
brings.
you.
Yeah.
if you had one chance now to get, hypothetically, I know maybe it won't happen. If you got an option to get De Jong right now, or get a striker, let's say we're talking about Aubameyang or Ronaldo. Again, hypothetically, I'm not saying those will happen. But if you had a chance to choose one of those two players, Aubameyang or Ronaldo, or get De Jong, which area will you address in the team right now?
I will address this area, the number 9 here.
So you will sign Aubameyang instead of De Jong.
I don't know if it will be Aubameyang's reason, because of age and the pace of the Premier League, and trying to find players that can put that ball to him, because we need
That's
to
what I'm
put the
saying.
ball.
So even if we play Broja,
if you get Broja,
it will suffer still. It will suffer.
Broja is young, and I think what Tuchel have to do is to put these guys to do what? To put the ball. You have to instruct them. You guys have to put the ball for these guys. You guys have to put the ball for the center forward. It has to be an instruction from the coach, and they have to play the ball. It's not every time you play wayward passes, sideways. You know, this sideways passes, it's killing. It's not getting anything for the team. So why don't you let the center forward do the running? That's what Haaland did, 22 years old. You have to do the running. That is what Jesus will do for Arsenal when he gets into that position. And if we play Broja as a number 9, Broja is young, wants to prove himself. He would do that. That's what Nunez is going to do for Liverpool. Because it will not be only always sideways. You have to put the ball in a position where these guys, the number 9, will be able to run to it. Let him run. Place the ball in this area of the field, around here. Where's my laser? Place the ball on the part of the field where it's not that it's already inside the 18-yard box where the goalkeeper will come and gather, but where it will be for what's it called today, the center forward and the center backs to do what? To come and fight for the ball. Put the ball here. Put the ball around here. If you play in the forward pass for number 9, put it around here. That's where the center backs are. They are coming out trying to push up. That's pass from De Bruyne from here all the way here. And then he took a touch because he already outrun Zuma and the other center back. So Broja can do that for us. But
again, I don't think, because as much as we analyze this, Jorginho for me is still that weak link. The reason why I said that, because Kante is not a guy that will dish passes, right? He's meant to do recovery. Yeah, he's meant to do the exact same job that Jorginho is doing, right? It's just a guy that runs around and covers the space of 2 people. Now, Jorginho for me, every time he pushes forward, there's no end product. So even though Jorginho's ahead right there and pushing on, there's nothing. There's no long passing. There is no direct play, through ball. There is no shot from the midfield. All he does is come in and play penalty and score, right? And he does that last season consistently. So in my opinion, I think if you put Kante with Kovacic right there in the midfield, Kovacic does that. He can play the ball. He did it for Lukaku last season. He can do it consistently. He can fire from outside of the box. There's a chance you can get. We have honestly. Hold on. We've got midfielders that can now score goals. It will be strange to see Jorginho score a goal from the midfield. Rodri does score, right? Rodri can score a goal. Even Fred can score a goal, right? But it will be weird to see Jorginho actually score a goal, during open play. So, that's actually limiting the team as well. So we do not have a guy who can either get an assist or get a goal. We just have in the team to keep decorum in the midfield whenever we're under pressure, right? I don't think that's enough for him to be in the start lineup. I think with Kovacic and Kante, they've got enough legs to cover the left wing back and the right wing back. So there's a problem.
Our problem is that the problem with the Chelsea midfield is that they have players, our midfielders are all of similar attributes. All of them. All of them. There's no single central midfielder in Chelsea, whether it's Gallagher, whether it's Jorginho, whether it's Kante, whether it's Kovacic, even with what's he called? Ruben Loftus-Cheek. All of them got the same similar attributes. And there's one thing that they lack. That thing is playing that pass from here forward. All of them. Kovacic will dribble because he can handle the ball properly. He will dribble himself out of trouble here and he will carry the ball. But Kovacic will not get the ball and play that 10-yard, 50, 25-yard pass like De Bruyne did, like Thiago will do for Liverpool. Like the midfielders in Arsenal they can even do it. Like if you play Eriksen in Man United central midfield, he would do it. The same thing in Tottenham. So we don't have that player. All of these midfielders don't have that quality, that attribute to play that 25-yard, 30-yard pass like Fabregas would do, compared to all the other guys in the Premier League top four. So we may have to sacrifice one of them and bring in if we're going to play with Roger, sacrifice one of them and bring in De Jong. That's pretty much what could happen.
I hope that happens.
If not, we'll be doing all these sideways passes here and there.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to have possession, but again, what do you do with it?
And again, that is why in that possession, remember, there's something that happens when you have a lot of possession. The more possession you have, the longer you're on the ball, your team is out of position defensively. And you are easily caught off in counter-attacks, because that is why our centre backs are suffering from cramps, because we lose the ball without any end product in the final third, and Everton gets the ball, boom, then launch it out to the wide area.
And the speed to recover.
And the speed, because these guys are young. Our centre backs, Ashby, Koulibaly.
They're like 100 years old if you have the age together.
Combine three of them. Like, come on now. So we will see. I mean, I don't know, but I think we need a tweak in our formation to be able to
to get a team up and running. Yeah.
Yes.
Full speed.
We have to. If not, anyway, just to conclude, right? We're done talking Chelsea and analyzing Chelsea. Next week, what we'll be doing is we'll pick up one important game and we analyze. Next week will be Tottenham. We're playing Tottenham at home at the Bridge, so we'll see how that goes. So back again to predictions for next week. What do you think?
I mean, next week it's I believe the first game is against is Aston Villa with everything. I think Villa played really bad against Bournemouth. Now I remember I told you Bournemouth was gonna go down. I don't know now.
There you go.
I think more was this, central physical figure for them. Mm-hmm. It allowed them to, kind of contain the defense line of Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Against Everton, which I don't think they will have a natural striker on the game day. It might be a tough game, but let's just call it a draw. It's difficult to predict games now at the beginning of the season because we haven't seen what pattern this team is playing, what idea they have. But
yeah,
I think if Everton gets a draw for them, the second game of the season away from home, I think it might be a good result.
I think Everton might win.
Without a striker?
They almost did it against us. Besides because we had Thiago Silva.
I mean, Aston Villa has a good attacking lineup.
They do. They I mean, it's going to be an interesting game because
It
I
should
think
be
the two sides will play similar type of football.
football.
Gerrard
Yeah,
and
it will be
and
much more
Lampard.
open football game. Yeah,
It
it will
will
be
be an
open.
open football. So
Yeah.
it might if it ends in a tie, I wouldn't be surprised. Arsenal Leicester.
Leicester City, don't you see them? They were ahead against Brentford.
Yeah, but I don't see them beating Arsenal.
Let's see if they get to keep Fofana and Madison by Saturday. If they do, why not?
I think they will keep them. I
Let's
think they
see.
will keep them.
If they lose them because they got three players in their lineup, Tillemans, Madison, and Fofana, who are, we got news about them leaving every day. If they retain them for that game, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Leicester wins the game. I will not be surprised. Again, it's about professionalism, right? And we know Bernard Rodgers is a decent manager, much more experienced than Arteta. But Arteta is building something,
He's
and
building that.
it's
Those guys are.
yeah. Now it might not work out all the time. They might fumble in the game or collapse, but I think Leicester has what it takes to get something out of the game. So
Yeah.
I will not. I know it's easier to say Arsenal get the win. They're playing at home. I don't think so. It's just my opinion.
So, you think Leicester will get it?
I think Leicester might sneak and win surprisingly. Yes, if they keep those three guys we're talking about.
I'll give it to Arsenal. Brighton, Newcastle.
That's a tough one, right?
It's going to be an open game.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Seeing the way Brighton plays against, I mean, everyone, you're fancying everyone to beat United, right? I mean,
I think Brighton will be playing possession-based football, and Newcastle will be counter-attacking.
Yeah, and Wilson is a dangerous player.
Yes.
But I'll give it to Brighton. I think Brighton will take a win, 3 points.
Okay. I don't know about that. About maybe my.
You might make up your mind on the once you see the lineup.
Anyway, I don't know. I think Newcastle will get points from that game. I think they will.
I will see.
City Bournemouth, it's not a brain. It's a no-brainer. City will get it. Southampton Leeds.
Well, if you watch the game, Leeds Wolves, Aaron saying we said in last episode that they are cooking something.
Yeah.
And the manager was already planning to get those 6 players in because he knew it was going to get over 120 million to go into the market. And I think they are working well. If you see the way they came back, I think for me, Southampton is not a team that is ready yet. And Leeds should take the 3 point. We don't know what's going to happen. Southampton might have Austin Odoi by then. We don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think Leeds should get a win.
Is Odoi going on loan though?
As far as we know, there are about 15 teams interested. He's trying to assess his options. It could be permanent move.
It could be. Yeah. And I have mixed reactions about Odoi, just that he has not delivered. He's not consistent. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. So Leeds will get the 3 points for you. I think this may be a tie. I think so. It's just that there's no one in Southampton that you can lay hands on and say that he's going to do this.
What are you afraid of? You afraid of the hamstrings or Aribo? I mean, they've got a long way to go to bully a defense. Look at the own goal by Salisu. What a disaster!
It was a disastrous own goal. But anyway, Wolves Fulham.
Well, Fulham today they lost Cody. Cody is now Cody is now an Everton player.
What?
Connor Cody joined. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Everton might get a draw. So Connor Cody is now an Everton player. He joined on loan with an option to buy. I think Liverpool. I think Everton did that because of the financial play, because they are in some depth right now. I think it's probably a sale for Wolves on the book.
Yeah,
Maybe it's more like an obligation to buy instead of an option to buy. So
I
Connor
see.
Cody coming in, I think it's much more balanced. But Wolves signed Gonzalo Guedes. This guy from La Liga was a Portuguese player as well. Is
Mhm.
similar to Neto. It's the same vibe they enjoy with Jota back then. So maybe they're trying to do the same thing again. Yes.
Neto was good, was brilliant against Leeds, man.
Yeah, but at defense, Hillman is probably the most highly rated defender right now. With their performance against Leeds, if Mitrovic brought the same mindset and energy, they might get a draw out of the game.
I will see. So for you,
It's a draw.
okay, I think so too. It might be a draw. Brentford United. That I don't know.
I mean, Brentford just has what United doesn't have right now, which is that energy
Yes,
to go from minute 1 to 90 minutes.
yes.
Manchester United, their head,
Championship,
yeah.
championship energy.
Manchester United, their head seems to be everywhere, right? Everything, there's no end product. They're making silly mistakes.
Hmm.
Again, we don't know if they lose this game against Brentford. I expect them to win. If they lose it, Liverpool will massacre them. There's no way they will survive Liverpool
I
because
will say.
the
Let them
morale
play
is
Brentford
down. I
first.
mean, if,
Yeah.
if if the morale is down, what can you do against Liverpool?
Hmm.
It'll be an assault against Liverpool.
Yeah. Okay. So Brentford gets it.
No, I think Manchester United should be in the better position to win the game. I hope they win. I think it's a win is the best thing for them.
Yeah, I think Ronaldo will have to start
We'll
this
start the
game. I
game,
think
yeah.
so. Yeah. Okay. Nottingham West Ham. West Ham gets this. I don't know.
I think Lingard would bring showmanship.
Lingadinho.
Lingard, Lord Lingard would try to show himself. The reason why I picked Forest over
he
West
wants
Ham.
he wants to go to the World Cup too. So let's see about that. I
Yeah,
don't know,
we
but
see. I
we'll
don't
see.
know. We see.
Chelsea Spurs.
Oof. I think Spurs were just fitter than Chelsea.
That will counter
I'm
attack.
not sure how fitness level will be on Sunday. We've got a lot of time. Maybe we might sign a player before then. We'll see. But I think we should get a win. It might sound biased because I'm a Chelsea fan, but I expect Chelsea to win again. I do.
Yeah.
I don't care what they do. I don't care
I
if they
don't
have to
care,
walk.
man.
Just get a win.
You have to get a win. This is Spurs we're talking about here. So I'm going for a Chelsea win, both as a Chelsea fan and both as a Chelsea everything. So I'm going for a Chelsea win. I'm not like, oh,
I
I
don't care
think,
what you do.
nah,
I
no
already
way. I
removed
don't,
Kane from my EPL for my FPL, so I don't care about
yeah,
Kane.
yeah. All right, Liverpool Palace on Monday.
Palace were just dreadful in the final third, and they look a bit shaky in the back as well.
Yes, they
Yeah,
were shaky.
yeah. So I'm not sure if Gay will be up to it against Nunes, who I think will start the game, by the way, on a
Hmm.
Monday night. He will. He's got enough time to be ready. So
Yes,
Clump will start him. I think Liverpool will win.
yeah, definitely. It's a Liverpool win.
Yeah.
There was an outstanding player from Crystal Palace that I really liked, Anderson. He was. I was watching, after the game, I watched the highlights that followed when he was being analyzed. He was playing these 50-yard, 60-yard passes,
I
and they
think he
were
was
all
on loan at
perfect.
Fulham last season, right? No, the
No,
season before.
the season before, and then Crystal Palace signed him.
Yeah.
He was brilliant in passing the ball, long range passes, 50, 60 yards. All his 50, 60-yard passes were spot on. They
Yeah.
were
They were.
accurate.
This is
So,
a
but
decent
anyway,
decent player. He is.
let's see what will happen against Liverpool. Definitely, it will be a Liverpool win. Anyway, I think we'll talk about the transfer market. I mean, it's still wide open, so we can talk about it later. But for now, um, I want to say a very, very big thank you, brother,
Yeah.
for the time that you have, set aside to be with us today. And it's an exciting, weekend of football. And for all our viewers, fans, families watching, don't forget to hit that like button. Once you hit the like button, the work we're trying to do here will get as far as it can to those who are unreachable. Remember, we try to do this in a different way, talk about it, analyze it. You see what we're trying to do, how the teams perform. We talk about a team, the tactical analysis of the team, etc., and what the teams need to improve, as we did with Chelsea. And as I said earlier on, every week we'll be doing a visual tactical analysis of a specific, an important game of that weekend. Like next weekend will be Chelsea Spurs. So the week that's the recording or the podcast that follows after that, we'll talk about Chelsea, and we'll show you what we did well, what Spurs did well, and what needs to be done to improve the team. Basically, focusing on Chelsea. That's the team I care for. Don't care about the rest.
Oh, just before we go, I want to mention Timo Werner is moving to Leipzig. He's already in Germany. Yeah.
Wow.
It will be a permanent deal. There should be a confirmation within the next 48 hours. It's going to be about 18 million pounds. So it's a lot of loss for Chelsea. Malang Sarr to Monaco. It was a free transfer for us, and he should be joining them on loan with an obligation to buy.
Okay.
So he's gone. The other big news is Austin Odoi, who have requested to leave. Alonso, the deal should be wrapped up, about 8 million pounds. So we've got a lot of outgoings right now. There are decisions being made on incoming transfers, but we'll see as the week progresses.
Wow, thank you very much for that transfer update on Chelsea. And we have a lot of players to let go, honestly.
Yeah,
I think that will also help the manager to figure out what he can do with the team he has. He has a lot of players,
correct,
especially those coming back from on loan, and those who we believe should be given time to play football for Chelsea, like the Gallaghers, like Broja, those guys have proved themselves on loan. So let's see what they can bring in, Anyway, guys, thank you very much again. It's an absolute pleasure to bring to you the Global Premier Football Show with my friend and brother, all the way from Guadalajara, Mexico. Thank you so much again. And thank you for your time. Friends,
it was a pleasure.
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back next week. Enjoy the rest of your week and watch Chelsea play Spurs, and go and support Chelsea. Come on, Chelsea. Thanks, man.
Goodbye.